Hi there, I'm Angus Wright, and I also go by Angus By Design. And this is another day in a personal practice which I call my Satsang for One, where I listen to an episode of Be Here Now, featuring Ram Dass. I journal about it. I write some quotes down in my physical journal, and then I pull an animal oracle card to cultivate mindfulness and for reflection. I do all of this as part of my personal wellness recovery action planning and as part of my daily maintenance for my own personal wellness. So let's get to it. So today's episode was called Stuck in Between Stories. And the first quote is, "In between stories. You and I recognize the power of the human heart as a social institution." The second quote is under freedom from fear. "It is clear to us now in terms of myths. We used to think that what we thought was the best way to play the game. That the thinking mind, and then science, which is its child, and then technology, which is its child, would take and reorganize everything in such a way that we would be happy, free of suffering, joyful, and peaceful. Are you?" And that's Ram Dass. And then standing between hope and hopelessness. I am talking now to you about what myths you and I have to live with in order to be effective players in the game. What can we get from our inner work all these years now that we hear, as we hear once again, what we hear in the 1960s, a kind of liquid possibility, that kind of dream that we have deep in our being, that there can be social structure which are compassionate. There can be social structures which are just where there is real equity. Dreams that we can hear each other and celebrate ethnic diversity instead of being threatened by it. Dreams that we can just walk on the earth and just hear each other. And that's Ram Dass. Sorry about the the tougher reading there. I'm a little bit more tired. I woke up a bit earlier today. So basically we're talking about being in between stories, freedom from fear, in terms of these social structures and what we kind of learn and understand. And then talking about standing between hope and hopelessness. So sort of living in that area where we feel compassion, but we don't necessarily see it reflected in the world. And it kind of comes down to our perceptions and belief systems and what we're attached to and the things that we've experienced, right? So I'm just going to put that energy into the cards. So looking for some mindfulness and reflection upon the notion of what we believe to be true and what is true. Looking at the social structures versus what we believe those structures are to be now. Okay. So today's card is the Seahorse Spirit. And the seahorse says, watch and wait. So let's take a look. So watch and wait, the oracle message behind this card. Hovering gracefully, the seahorse observes with the perspective of one who is not engulfed by the drama, remaining at a distance from all the turbulence. Seahorse Spirit appears at this time to remind you of the need to be neutral and gain perspective. Your message from Seahorse Spirit is, not my circus, not my monkeys. Spirit wants you to know that even if you are tempted to jump onto the fray and try to fix things, the best way to serve yourself and others right now is to remain calm and simply watch and see. Another message here is that whatever your query, Seahorse Spirit asks you to step back from it. Be willing to explore things from different angles rather than a single one, and just observe what is possible. From the perspective of the position of the neutral observer, you will discover a myriad of opportunities and a deeper understanding of what you seek and why. And you will know beauty, truth, love, and wisdom. The protection message here. Are you holding on to judgment? Sure that your perspective is the only correct way to look at things? There are as many perspectives as there are creatures in the sea, and when Seahorse Spirit appears, you are reminded to detach from the experience so that you can view it from more than one angle. Pay attention to your hidden beliefs and how they affect the way you think, feel, and act. Are you being fair to all involved, or do you need to step back? Perhaps the drama that you've been drawn into is your own. Whatever the actions of others, your challenge is to be non-reactive and not take their words or behaviors personally. Their turbulence may have little to do with you. So remain neutral until you know more. Your personal perspective may be quite different in time. So I love that message, because in talking about that sort of transition from first person thinking, so like reacting to the world, seeing where we fit into the social structure of things, looking at things like class, gender, color, race, culture, all of those things, it's easy to get really sucked into a vortex, especially in today's day and age with technology basically just fueling. And with Seahorse energy, it's basically saying watch and wait, right? Like create a witness, zoom out and see things from another perspective, be able to calm and look at things from different angles and sort of like depersonalize what's going on. And I just love that because it allows for growth, I would think. It allows for more wiggle room to be able to see what your choices and options are. So that is that. And especially from the perspective of being stuck between stories or in between stories, right? So, what is our true story? What is the story that we wish to be told upon ourselves as opposed to the one that is being told? It's easy to get sucked in when people are telling your story for you and it doesn't really match up with what you are living or what you're about. So I'm going to take that with me and think about it. If any of this resonates with you and you want to get in touch with me, I'm Angus Wright. I go by Angus By Design. I am reachable. Leave a comment. Please feel free to subscribe to this and receive the notifications of when the new videos come up. And feel free to use these as a meditative tool. These videos usually go between 10 and 15 minutes. They're just great for listening to and cultivating mindfulness, and just sort of starting off as a prompt for where your thoughts go. If you're like me, journaling helps, and so feel free to use it as part of a journaling practice, a personal journaling practice. And if you want to share that with me, I'd be happy to read it and see it and participate. Namaste.